Hello, welcome back to my channel. So I have a new kit and everything for my channel. I'm still working on the actual setup. I'm on my bed right now. I have a desk coming which I plan to do everything on. And I'm very excited, and then I can finish setting up my kit, but I wanted to go ahead and try out the microphone and everything. So yeah, asexual characters in media, books, whatever, because it is International Asexual Day. This video probably won't come out until tomorrow. But I wanted to talk about asexual characters. If you're not new to my channel, then you know I am asexual. And it is very important for representation. I will be naming off some non-canon ones as well, because they just give off the vibes, and I wanted to give shout-outs and be like, yes, these characters are definitely asexual, even if it hasn't been confirmed. But then I actually have a good section of canon. There will be some arrow ace characters as well as asexual, because obviously if they're arrow ace, they're also asexual as well as aromantic. I would just probably focus a little bit more on the asexual part and just say, yeah, they're arrow ace. So let's get into it. So for non-canon, I have Charlie Weasley from Harry Potter, because he is canon that he never married or had children, and I just definitely see him as asexual. And I think I've heard other people have that same conclusion too. Elsa from Frozen, I know a lot of people's like, oh, you know, she's definitely lesbian and stuff, and I mean, I can definitely accept her being arrow ace lesbian, but I'm sorry, I just don't see her liking anybody. I just don't see her having, like, don't get me wrong, I would love a Disney princess to be a lesbian. I just don't see it in Elsa. I just see her as someone who isn't interested in romance or sex or any of it. Like, I definitely see that that's just the vibe she gives off to me. I know a lot of people see her as lesbian and ship her with Honey and Marin because they had like 5-minute scene together in the second movie, but yeah, I just see her as arrow ace, and I always really have. But if they want to make a princess a lesbian, I'd totally be down for it. I can see it with, if I saw it with anyone, it would probably be Moana, because I can kind of see Merida as arrow ace as well. I see her too busy focusing on herself and not wanting romance or sex. So I'm adding Merida to this list, which just came to me right now, because I can see her as arrow ace as well, and I definitely see her as asexual, like. And it's more than just, you know, not being interested in those boys or being forced to be married. I just don't see her wanting romance or sex or any of that. Like, so that's definitely a vibe she gets off for me. And then I have Claudine Wolf, which I mentioned in my recent video that I talked about aromantic characters. I should do a video for arrow ace characters too. But anyways, and as I explained, I can see her as an arrow ace lesbian more than I can Elsa. Because a lot of people saw her as a lesbian too in the OG movies, and but honestly, she was never interested in dating. Period. She just wasn't interested in it. Yeah, she wasn't interested in boys, but she wasn't interested in girls either. Like, she just gave me the vibes of I want to do my fashion. I'm gonna become a famous fashion icon and be alone and be me and do it all by myself. Like, I'm sorry, but she does. She just didn't give me I want romance, I want sex vibes. She doesn't. So Claudine Wolf, arrow ace icon. I think I even did a video on this channel just talking about her being arrow ace in my eyes. I think I even called it Claudine Wolf an arrow ace icon. I think that's the title of the video. That would have been a little while ago, but definitely check that out. Because that's definitely the vibe she gives off for me. Personally. And I love lesbian representation. We have plenty of it, but it's just sometimes people's like, oh, this character's not interested in boys, so they must be interested in girls. No, I'm sorry. Sometimes it's because they're just not interested. Elsa and Claudine are like that. Like, everyone's like, oh, they are definitely lesbians because they're not interested in boys. But I don't see them being interested in girls either. I'm sorry, I don't. Next couple are from books, actually. There is, I mentioned this one in my aromantic video as well, because I see her as arrow ace, and that's Dozy from the Mantis Gland series. awesome series. I am caught up as of right now. There are 5 books right now, and I'm caught up. I haven't better read the last one, and it is an amazing series. I highly, highly recommend it. But you have to be okay with horror, and some cannibalism is a little bit of a factor, just to warn you, because I know some people can't handle it. Me personally, I love horror. And yeah, so it's nothing to me. Like, I recently watched Terrifier, and that movie got gory, and I was living for it. But anyways, moving on. And I know because I was talking to Adam, who wrote the books once, about seeing Dozy as Arrow Ace, and he said, I think he might have said that he kind of implied it a bit, because like there was even a scene where like everyone was like in their beds and they were like cuddling with partners, and then Dozy was kind of alone, and I think that, so I think it might be kind of canon, even though it hasn't been mentioned in the books. I think it's kind of canon, because I think he also sees her as Arrow Ace, so that one might actually be a little bit of canon, just not mentioned, but the creators mentioned it, which I think some of the ones on my list of canon characters are like that. There's a few that wasn't technically mentioned in the show, but was definitely canon, because the creator confirmed it later on. Anyways, moving on. And the next one is a little bit of the same, because I recently on my book channel did a live writing sprint with Adam, as well as a couple other authors, one of them being Ellie. And we were talking about her characters in her B series. And Ari and Henry, I mentioned seeing Ari as Arrow Ace. And she said that she sees Henry as Arrow Ace. So I'm not sure if she's confirmed Ari, but she did kind of confirm Henry. And I love that for them, because they had like this really close bond in the first book, and I just love the idea of them both being Arrow Ace. They both like are so, I can just see the two of them like gossipy, be like, oh my gosh, yeah, romance sex, so overrated, and they're just living their best life together. You know, if one of them did not die, unfortunately, but in my head, he's alive, I am in denial, and they are alive and well. They are talking about the future and their careers, and you know, not having any romantic interest, and I just love that for them. So anyways, moving off my denial little state right there. And then for canon, so this one, I don't know how you're gonna feel about it. The first 3 on the list, but they were technically confirmed, so I'm just gonna go with it. One of them being SpongeBob SquarePants. I'm not a fan of SpongeBob, never have been, not even when I was a kid. But apparently he's confirmed to be asexual, and even though I'm not a fan of SpongeBob, I love the representation, so let's do it. There's also Yoshi from the Mario video game, which I find interesting, but okay. And Perry the Platypus from Phineas and Ferb, which I am a huge fan of to this day. I actually just watching. I've actually been rewatching it, and I rewatch it quite often actually, because it's one of my designated bedtime shows. And yeah, so I'm on season 4, and I'm like, I live for Perry being asexual. Moving on. So we have Jughead Jones, which he's asexual in the comics, and I know there are people who are fans of the comics. I'm not a big comic book fan, and I watched the show before I even knew there was comics. I mean, I've heard of the Archie comics, but because it's called Riverdale and Archie comics, I didn't put 2 and 2 together at first. But anyways, and honestly, my whole situation for that is, yes, I do love Jughead and Betty together. They are my favorite ship in the show, but people's always like, oh, they erased his asexuality, which they kind of did because they didn't mention it and stuff. But one, people are treating him like he's aromantic, and from what I know about the comics, he was just asexual. And I feel like a lot of people put those two things together. Like, if you're asexual, you're aromantic. If you're aromantic, you're asexual. No, not always. Yes, some of these characters are Arrow Ace. I think that is the most common representation and the little representation we do get, because a lot of people like to lump them together. But that's not always the case. You can be aromantic without being asexual, and you can be asexual without being aromantic. I know before I realized that I was on the arrow spectrum, I just thought I was asexual, because I was like, I still like girls. It took me a bit to realize that it's a spectrum. And yeah, I like girls, I just don't like them on the same level as most people, so I am aro as well as a lesbian. Like, you can be both, but and then you can be like, so, and then you can just not like anyone in that way either. So it's like it's like complex, you know, it's all in a spectrum. And Jughead, everyone's treating him like, oh, he shouldn't be with Betty because in the comics he's supposed to be asexual, but then proceed to explain what being aromantic is, not what asexual is. Okay, yes, he's, and even though he might have sex on the show with Betty, like, he can still be asexual and have sex. I mean, yes, they did still erase his sexuality. I'm not saying they didn't because they never mentioned it or anything, but I think people don't realize that, like, you can be asexual without being aromantic, so he can still fall in love. And he can also be asexual and still have sex. Like, there's different forms of asexuality. Like, you can be indifferent towards it, but still have sex with your partner because to make them happy or for whatever reason. You can even enjoy sex. You just don't crave it yourself because you don't have that. You just don't. You're asexual, so you don't need sex, and you never like have those desires, but you do enjoy the act. And then there's people like me who is sex repulsed. I mean, I feel like people get a wrong idea by sex repulsed. It's not like I'm okay with you having sex, but I don't want to have sex. So that's kind of how I feel about it. Because the thought just kind of grosses me out, to be honest. And yeah, so that's it. That's that. So I feel like my feelings about Jughead being asexual in the comics is a bit mixed, just because I feel like every time I hear people talk about it, they're always getting it wrong, which I think Riverdale could have still done the exact same things he did on the show and still be asexual if they had actually mentioned that he was asexual. So yeah, I guess that's my issues with it. People are acting like he can't be asexual because he does this, because he's with Betty, because he does this, and I'm like, well, technically he can be. He just might like sex but still be asexual, or he can be asexual but still be with Betty, because, you know. Anyways, I got on a little bit of a rant. Sorry about that. Here's another one that was confirmed by the creator but never stated in the show, and that is Lilith Clawthorne from the Owl House. She is the Owl Lady Ida's sister, and she was an interesting character, and I loved her relationship with Hootie just because she was the only one that appreciated him and didn't take him for granted, and I love that. They write each other letters, and it's just so sweet. Hootie is the Owl House itself. He's trapped on the door because he is part of the Owl House. It's a long story. If you watch the show, you know. If you don't, you don't, okay? Definitely watch the show, though. I highly recommend it. But there's a lot of actually representation in that show, because there's like Emily and Luz are together on the show. And then I think the creators confirmed that, plus Willow has two gay dads, so there's that. Plus they confirmed that Willow is bisexual, I think. And then I think Hunter is pansexual, or it might be the other way around. Either way. But anyways, they confirmed that Lilith is aro-ace, and I love it, which I can also see it while watching the show, because she's very career-oriented, and she doesn't seem like she just gives us vibes. She's like, never talks about romance or anything, never seems to be interested, even when it shows flashbacks of her and her sister, Ida. Like, you know, because Ida did fall in love. Oh, there's also a non-binary character. I forgot to mention that. The person Ida is in love with, they are non-binary. And they call them by they, them, so it's kind of obvious that they're non-binary. But yeah. So there's that too. But Lilith just doesn't, and I love it for her. Okay, there is also Raphael from Shadowhunters. I never read the books, and from what I've heard about the books, I don't want to read the books. But I love the show because I do love Alec and Magnus. They are the main reason why I watch. I feel like they're the main reason why a lot of people who don't read the books watch the show. Which is funny because I don't usually do that. If I want to watch a show, I read the books. But from what I've heard from the books, they don't sound nearly as good as the show. Which is very rare. There was a scene because he was dating Isabella for a bit. He explains that he is asexual, and I love this representation in particular, because like the whole rant I just went on with Jughead about, he was like, oh, you know, he's asexual so he can't be with Betty. Not true. Even if he was aromantic, he could still date. like I said, I like girls and I'm aromantic. But anyways, and I love it because he actually really gets into it. He's one of the few representations that I've seen that really does get into it. And he says that he does date, he does like romance, he does want to find love, but he doesn't want sex. So he's kind of like me in that aspect. I mean, I wouldn't say I'm actively looking for romance or anything because of my arrow side, but personally, I love how they dealt with him being asexual.
I haven't felt this way about anyone in a long, long time.
Kiss me.
It's not like that. I'm not like that. I'm just not interested in sex.
Being a vampire made you this way?
No. I've always been like this.
And it was like they had that one conversation so that he could explain to her that he's asexual because she kind of wanted to be with him. And he was like, I like you, I think I'm falling for you, but I'm asexual. I still date, I still do romance, but I don't have sex. Because it seems like he might be on a little more of the sexual side, which I love that for him. But yeah. and then after that, I don't remember them ever really mentioning it again. And it was nice because it was like, yeah, he's asexual, but that's like not his, that's not, they didn't make a huge deal out of it. They didn't make it like, oh my gosh, he's asexual and turn that into his entire personality. That was just a part of his story. It wasn't his entire story. And I love that. I do. Okay, there's also, Esperanza, I think I might be saying that wrong, Cruz, aka Spooner from Legends of Tomorrow. She was introduced in one of the later seasons because there was this whole alien storyline later on. That show became a little unhinged, but I love it. It's my favorite of the Arrowverse shows, even though it's probably the most underrated and over-criticized. I love the show. I do think it went downhill a little bit in the last season or so. A lot of shows do, but Spooner was an alien, or no, she was an alien. What was it? It's been a minute since I watched. She was like, she had alien powers because she was experimented on since she was a kid. I think that was the storyline, and she was talking to Zari at one point, and I don't remember what she said exactly, but she said how she isn't really interested in anyone, and she started saying that she thought that there's something wrong with her, and Zari says, it sounds like you're asexual, and then she proceeded to explain to Spooner, who didn't know what that was, what it is, and she was like, I guess I'm ace.
I think we have a few minutes before the next try, so smash, marry, kill, Nate, Gwyn, Carrie.
No, not really into any of them.
Copy. Okay, how about Sarah, Ava, Astra?
Not really into any of them either.
Also copy. Okay. What is your type?
You know, I don't really get those types of feelings for anyone. Maybe it's one of those things those mushroom aliens messed up about me, huh?
Hey, no. What you're describing is totally normal. It just means maybe you're ace. Asexual. People who identify as ace have little or no interest in sex, but many of them still want to be in relationships.
I guess that makes me ace.
Which I don't know why I love that scene so much because for me, I didn't know what the term asexuality was when I first heard it, but after I found out what it was, it just clicked. And I was like, huh, so much of my life makes sense now. And that's kind of the vibe I got from that conversation. She didn't know what it was, so I explained it, and then she was like, huh, everything makes sense now. And I love it. So yeah. Then there's Deuce Gorgon, which I also mentioned in my Aromantic video because he's Arrow Ace from the new Monster High series. I know the new Monster High gets criticized. I do not like. So, for those of you that do not watch Monster High, there's 3 generations. G1 for the original webisodes and series of movies. G2, which only lasted 2 movies because it got canceled because nobody liked it. I am not a huge fan of G2. And then G3, which was the newest one, which was 2 live-action movies. The 3rd one got canceled, which is ridiculous because I wanted it. And 2 seasons of an animated show, which ended up getting canceled, which I hate because it's being too overly criticized, which I actually love the show. And the show has so much representation. Like, there's a non-binary character. There's Cleo. I don't think she ever mentions if she... I think she's bisexual because they mentioned that she used to date Deuce. And now she's dating Frankie, who's non-binary. So, I'm not entirely sure what her sexuality is, but she dates... other genders. So we're just gonna go with bisexual at the moment. And then there's it's not just LGBTQ either. Like they also, I feel like so many animated shows do not have. They always show their characters, especially females, because females are held to a higher standard than men, unfortunately. Really, really skinny. Like, I love the original Monster Highs, but nobody is that skinny, okay? Like, they had everyone extremely thin. Okay, it was, no. But this show has characters be bigger and more realistic, and I love it. And there's also autistic characters, which I love. Twyla ended up being autistic, and I love it. It's like, the show's getting so much hate when it's just representing everybody, and I am tired of the hate. But I went a little off topic. I might make a video of all the representation that show has, so if you guys are interested in that, definitely let me know, and I'll definitely make that video. But moving on to Deuce, he is Arrow Ace. I have not caught up on the show. I was going to, but I didn't have Hulu Live TV for a while, and now I have it again, but they took it off of Hulu Live TV, or they took it off of Hulu, and Paramount Plus is the first season, but not the second, so I can't catch up, because I've seen all of season 1, and season 2 I haven't seen. I haven't seen much of it, at least. I've only seen a little, but I'm very sad about that. But yeah, so the Deuce beat Arrow Ace is in season 2, but I do know about it, and I'm very excited for his storyline because he deserves all the love, and I love that he's Arrow Ace. And from what I've seen, I have seen clips. It's like Frankie, who has a thing for Cleo, finds out that Cleo and Deuce used to date, and they realize they're not a good match. They're better friends, partly to Deuce being Arrow Ace, I think. I might be wrong though. Like I said, I haven't actually seen the season yet, but yeah. And then, okay, we have a few from books. So there's Serafina from the Towers of Memories. I mentioned being on those live writing sprints recently on my book channel. She was the other author I was doing that with, as well as Adam and Ellie. And her name's Alyssa. She's amazing, and I love her series. I'm currently reading them because I'm a little bit behind because life, but I hope to catch up this month. And Serafina is her main character, and she is Arrow Ace. And they kind of imply it early on. And there was a scene, I don't remember if it was the first book or the second book. Those are the only 2 I've read so far. But she was wearing, like, I think an asexual shirt or something like that. Kind of like the one I'm wearing, which I forgot to mention at the beginning of this video, but I'm wearing my asexual shirt. It says, I've got an ace up my sleeves, and in parentheses at the bottom it says, it's me, I'm Ace, and I'm in these sleeves. I love it. And she is like half magical, half human because of her father, and so nobody really understood what her shirt meant, except for one friend, Russell, who I think turned out to also be like in a similar situation, and he understood more human terms like she did, and I love it. it was just a funny scene because like nobody understood it except for Russell, and it kind of became a little bit of an inside joke between the two of them, and I really hope it's mentioned again in other books because I would love another scene like that, honestly. It was a funny scene. I don't even know why I liked this so much, but I did. So, and then I'm going to do a little bit self-promo like I did in my last video and talk about a few asexual characters I have in my books. So my current series, The Realm of Monsters, which is a trilogy. Book 3 is not out yet. I'm hoping it will come out soon. Okay, I'm trying to get out as fast as I can because I have other books I really want to finish this year as well. But there's also a prequel series to it, Khaleesi's Adventures, which the 10th and final novella in that series is coming out the 10th, so definitely keep an eye on that. It's very sapphic if you guys are interested in that. But anyways, in the Realm of Monsters trilogy, you meet Henry, who is a fan favorite of the side characters, and then Eric, and they are both Arrow Ace. And then in my Christmas Light duology, the duology is completed, but there will be a spin-off duology eventually. Not this year. Maybe next year. Probably not because there's another series I want to work on first. So it might be a few years, unfortunately. But the main character in that is Skylar Prescott. And so, okay, so going back to Henry, because I probably should mention a little bit about him. He's a Cyclops, he's autistic, and he is a scientist. Eric is a centaur, and he is a journalist. Anyways, going back to Skylar, she finds out she has powers. She is the chosen one. And there's this cursed town and a prophecy, and she has to save everybody. And then her ex, who was also her childhood best friend, Andrea Rivera, is also asexual. So Skylar is asexual biromantic. And then Andrea is asexual homoromantic. And the spin-off series, I told you that will eventually happen. I already have like what it's going to be about planned. She is the main character because she didn't have much of a role in the first book, but she had a huge role in the second book, and I ended up loving her a lot more than I thought I would, to be honest, and other characters did as well. And I'm pretty sure I know what chapter made everybody love her. It was one of my favorite chapters to write in the second book, but I'm so excited for her sequel because she definitely deserves some time in the spotlight. Like, I'm so excited for what I have planned for her character. So yeah, doing that. So I'm very excited for that. And I think that is all. Oh, I forgot to mention, there's one character I forgot to mention. I passed him on the list, but that is Isaac on Hostopper. His storyline was dealt very well. Definitely one of the best asexual, aromantic storylines ever done that I have seen. I've never read the books, the comics, because I'm not a big comic person. And I'm not actually that big on romance, period, like pure romance. But I decided to give it a try one day because I was bored. And I love the representation because there is a lot of representation in it. I feel like they do the representation very well. And Isaac I don't think he had that much of a role in the first season, to be honest. In the second season is when he starts to discover he's asexual, but he doesn't really discover it until near the end of the season. In the third season, he really gets into it and starts telling people and saying that he doesn't know how to feel about it, which I feel like is very realistic because even if you aren't ashamed or embarrassed or whatever, because some people some people think they're broken, even if you know you're not, like, it's a lot of times it can be like jarring because it's like everything I thought I knew about my life is not true. Like, I thought I was gonna, get married, have kids. It could still happen, but might not now because of all this. And it's like, yeah, maybe it's not a bad thing, and you're not ashamed of it. You're not embarrassed. You don't think you're broken, but you still don't know how to feel about it. Because it's like, it changes everything you thought you knew about yourself, about what your future would be like. And I feel like Isaac explains that very well, and it's like, it's just very realistic, and without making it seem like there's something wrong with it at the same time. And I feel like it was just done beautifully, and I love it.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean what I said.
That's okay. I'm sorry too.
You're right. I've been ignoring you guys since me and Elle started going out. I've had, romance goggles on. It's been great, but I've been a bad friend. So I'm going to be a better friend.
I've just felt like a third wheel all summer.
Yeah, that's fair.
And I hate that I do feel bitter. You all make it seem like being in a relationship is the most perfect, magical thing anyone could ever hope for.
It does feel pretty magical, though.
Yeah. Yes, it's just really hard when I know that's not what I actually want. I guess I'm still just coming to terms with that.
Do you think there are any gay fish?
Yeah, definitely.
I think that one's gay.
Do you think they fall in love?
Oh, I hope so.
What about the ones who don't fall in love with any gender? Do you think they're okay just being on their own?
I don't think they're on their own. They've got loads of friends.
Yeah, it's just... What if all of its friends were couples and flaunting their magical relationships everywhere they went?
Me and Sahara aren't a couple.
But who said we were?
I don't think we're talking about fish anymore.
Do you guys get where I'm going with this or not?
Yeah, we do.
I don't really know how to feel okay with it yet, with being asexual and aromantic. It changes everything I thought I knew about myself and about my life and my future.
I think it's normal to be upset. When I first realised I liked Charlie, I cried at an Am I Gay quiz.
So cute.
It's a process.
We love you.
I love you too.
So definitely look at Heartstopper if you want good Arrow Ace representation, because it's not done very often. But yeah, I think that's the last character I have on here for Asexual Characters for International Asexual Awareness Day. So yay! Yay! So thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe and comment if you know any other asexual characters in media or TV or books. I'll definitely check it out because I'm always looking forward to more asexual representation. I love writing asexual representation, and this will not be the last of my asexual representation. I told you I have more books coming out. After I finish book 3 in my trilogy, I want to work on a Scooby-Doo retelling, which yes, one of the main characters will be Arrow Ace. And then I also have a book, a skeleton series where a character will be asexual. So yeah, definitely check my books out, and if you want more Arrow Ace representation, sometimes just aromantic, sometimes asexual, and sometimes both. So yeah. And I'll chat with you guys in the comments below. Until next time.